Hey y'all, and welcome to Politibrawl. My name is Brian, and Marjorie Taylor Greene takes a blowtorch to Jasmine Crockett and reveals the truth about what's actually coming to these Medicaid cuts. Let's dive in.
Congressional Republicans, again, as it's been stated, they don't care about government efficiency no more than they care about government services and programs that constituents rely on. And just like Elon is hiding from this committee, Republicans are now hiding from their constituents. Under the current Republican budget proposal, 166,000 people in the chairman's district could lose their Medicaid benefits, including more than 70,000 children. The same for the chairwoman of the DOJ subcommittee. Under the current budget proposal, 120,000 people in her district could lose Medicaid benefits, including 75,000 children. This is what efficiency looks like to Republicans, selling out their own constituents to pass tax cuts for their billionaire donors and friends. And rather than taking GAO's recommendations and discussing how Congress can help make federal employees and agencies more efficient, effective, and supported, they're firing probationary federal employees, which again, in my opinion, has led to planes actually falling out of the sky.
Chair recognizes Ms. Greene.
For the past 4 years, Democrats have been in control of basically all government functions for the American people. We are at $36 trillion in debt, and the lies are getting to be outrageous. Just listen to one of my colleagues talk about Medicaid. The truth is, for people watching at home, your Medicaid benefits cannot get cut unless the governor of your state and the state cuts your benefits. That's the real truth. Republicans here in Washington, here in Congress, we are not taking away anyone's Medicaid benefits. As a matter of fact, we're trying to cut out improper payments. We're trying to cut out fraud. At my DOJ subcommittee, I had a hearing just 2 weeks ago where we talked about improper payments. It is unbelievable, and I'm sure you would agree, Mr. Dodaro, that the amount of money that's being paid to dead people, to foreigners, to criminals, to terrorists is amounting in the billions and billions of dollars every single year. That's what Democrats and Republicans should be agreeing on. We should be able to come together and say, let's stop this immediately. Another thing that I find outrageous is that Democrats under the Biden administration passed $7.5 billion in spending to build 500,000 electric vehicle charging stations all over the country, whether Americans wanted them or not. But only 8 of these electric vehicle charging stations even got built. I think that should have been in your top 25 list, because where's that money? Honestly, where is that money? That's a great question. Some other things that I'd like to bring up to you here is GOA estimates that total fraud in these programs for unemployment insurance, and you were just talking about it, during the pandemic is at least $60 billion. Americans all over the country will never forget that Democrats shut our country down, shut our businesses down. People got fired. Their churches was closed. All their rights were taken away. And $60 billion from the Department of Labor. The Department of Labor has still not developed an anti-fraud strategy, even though $60 billion is missing. Also, the Medicare program and scale of Medicare spending is innately high risk, with the program spending an estimated $1 trillion in 2024. Of that, in fiscal year 2024, we saw roughly, I'll go back to improper payments again, $54.3 billion in improper payments. And we have Democrats crying over Elon Musk. Are you kidding me? The American people, the polling is out, 72% Democrats and Republicans support DOJ. Support it, 72%. They are not upset about anything that Elon Musk is doing. As a matter of fact, they're happy. They want their 50, they want all these improper payments, all of this waste, they want it back. Now, here's what's really interesting to me. The Department of Defense Financial Management first appeared on the high-risk list in 1995. 1995. Hey, I graduated from high school in 1992. That's a long time ago. Now, and it remains on this list 28 years later. 28 years later, Congress hasn't fixed this. The Department of Defense hasn't fixed this. And last year, the Pentagon, with a budget of around $850 billion, failed its 7th straight audit. What are we doing? What are we doing? This is not this. We should be at the most bipartisan time in history where Republicans and Democrats can come together and say the American people's money is being stolen. It is being lost. It is outright treason to treat the American people this way.
I'm not sure I'd go as far to say treason, but it's in the ballpark. Essentially, what's happened. Imagine that America has a stack of money. And what the government has been doing, what Democrats have been doing, and particularly Democrat states have been doing, they've cranked up the leaf blower and just decided to blow it all over the yard. It doesn't matter where it ends up because throwing money at the problem is the only thing Democrats understand. And this has not worked, folks. It has not worked since FDR. Remember, there is a myth that FDR got us out of the Great Depression. No, FDR made everything worse. There are a couple of policies that ended up working in the long term, like FDIC. That's a good positive reform. But the majority of the things that he actually did were not only unconstitutional, they nearly broke the American Republic. And now some of those policies are rearing its ugly head, and now we have to deal with the elephant in the room. And that elephant is the $37 trillion of debt. Hey, y'all. Here's the deal. Gold loves President Trump. Under Trump's first term, the price of gold soared 53%, and the price of silver jumped 51%. Since the start of the second term, gold has skyrocketed even higher, breaking records and even outperforming stocks. Here's what I like about precious metals like gold and silver. They have been used as a store of value for centuries. Governments can't easily manipulate it. They are used as hedges against market risk and, of course, against inflation. That's why I partnered with the amazing people over at Goldco. Goldco is an award-winning precious metals company. They are fans of this show, and they have helped millions of Americans just like y'all to purchase over $3 billion in gold and silver. Right now, you can get a free copy of their 2025 gold and silver kit. On top of that, you might also qualify for their amazing unlimited silver bonus offer. So don't wait on this. Go to politibrawlgold.com to learn more. That's politibrawlgold.com or call 855-644-GOLD. So we're going to have to start cutting. We're going to have to start reforming. We're going to have to do something, and if that means work requirements for Medicaid, so be it. I think that's a pill most Americans are willing to swallow. As a matter of fact, that's not even that much of a pill at all. Meanwhile, Jasmine Crockett is out here saying, oh, Medicaid could be cut. Could? Give us the truth. Give us the actual numbers, ma'am, and maybe the American people would start believing you. But again, the Democrats care more about pandering to a small portion of their constituency than actually standing up for their own constituency. The entire Democrat coalition is slowly breaking, and we're watching it happen in real time, and it's because people like Jasmine Crockett don't want to take a look at the reformers and say thank you. They take one look and want to run for the hills. Folks, we can't afford that. We cannot afford to deny the elephant in the room any longer. We have to deal with our debt. That's going to mean reforming. That's going to mean cuts to some social welfare programs. It's going to have to happen. We've been paying out billions of dollars, apparently, to dead people. And the Democrats are out here screaming about that. This is fear-mongering of the highest order, a propaganda arm that is then parroted out by their sycophants in the mainstream media, and it gets worse and worse and worse. It's a snowball effect, and it creates hysteria. It causes people to think twice before coming to the actual conclusion of maybe, just maybe, we are in desperate need of reform. The coolest thing about the American people, however, is how charitable we have been over a long period of history. We have a history in our country and even a culture of, we literally have a culture of GoFundMe All right? We're not just a giving people, though. We actually put in the elbow grease in order to go out and help folks. All right? There's a great organization that I volunteered with in the past called Samaritan's Purse. Love those people there. They do great work in helping disaster areas, and they're better than FEMA. Because, of course, private institutions with obvious goals are better than public institutions where the goals are more opaque. That's the fundamental problem with having government-provided services. Remember, folks, the same people that run the DMV are the same people that also run Veterans Affairs, all right? It ain't good. It is never good when that much government has that much power over average American people. That is an inherent power imbalance, and people like Jasmine Crockett want this. They want a dependent people, because remember, the Democrat Party is very good at stratification. They are good at making sure that the wealthy upper class feels good about themselves. They make sure that they're protecting the lower classes while hollowing out the very things that make a thriving middle class. That's why California doesn't effectively have a middle class anymore. It's gone. Illinois does not have an effective middle class. It's left. New York, same problem. Hawaii, actually, I can't count Hawaii. There's another reason that Hawaii is so screwed up. New Mexico, same problem. These different states all have a fundamental flaw because the Democrat approach has been tax the rich, tax the middle class out of existence, and then give money to social programs, and it ultimately does not work. It does not work. It does not help people the way it's intended. It hasn't really worked since FDR, and that's sort of the meta-narrative of American politics, that the Republican Party has been trying to dismantle this stuff because we know deep down in America these welfare programs don't work. Jasmine Crockett wants this sort of nonsense. Meanwhile, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who has been a fire breather, particularly with Doge, I'm very impressed with her record and how she's handling that subcommittee. She's done a fantastic job of bringing to light things that we should have found years, maybe decades ago. The reformers are now here, ladies and gentlemen. Stand back, watch the magic, and then see what happens. I would rather this experiment ultimately fail than go backwards to the very thing that got us into the problem in the first place. This is why we need Doge. This is why we need people like MTG. That's why Jasmine Crockett, I'm sorry, honey, but we aren't buying what you're selling. Folks, my name is Brian. Hope you enjoyed that segment here on Politibrawl. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Until then, y'all have a good one.